From his studios in New York, it's time for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Here's your host, Dan Tortora.
Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Hope you're all doing well this morning and having a phenomenal morning. Hopefully the weather is participating well for you. Right now it looks okay out here in Brooklyn, New York, and hopefully all throughout New York, and wherever you're listening, you are not having a wintry mix, but you're having a good day and the weather is cooperating. That is my hope for you as we move forward here. So, happy Wednesday. It is National Cereal Day, so I guess I'm putting up here for National Cereal Day that I'm going to put, what's your favorite cereal up here? National Cereal Day, love it. So, I don't understand any of these national days. I feel like people just make them up as they go on a whim, but whatever. I do have cereal that I love, so my favorite cereal day. So I guess I would say I love Frosted Flakes, I love Lucky Charms, and for some wonderful, beautiful way of God being like, hey man, seeing what's going on, wanted to send you a little present, they made Lucky Charms Frosted Flakes. So I just got those, and they're in my home, my humble abode in central and upstate New York, and they are fantabulous. So I hope that you get an opportunity to try them sometime very, very soon. You can't have mine. Now, if we're good friends, I might share with you, but you can't have the last bite. Can't do that. I always, when people do that, when you go to somebody's house, and they're like, oh, thank you so much for your hospitality, and then they, eat your food, but they don't just eat your food. They eat your food in the sense, they eat the, last piece of pizza, or they eat the last bowl of cereal, or the last scoop of ice cream. That, to me, is uncalled for. If I invite you to my house, and I'm sharing my food, and I'm sharing, my lodging, and whatnot, I'm sharing the home with you, and the amenities, and this, that, and the other thing, don't be eating the last piece of something. Don't do that. Even if somebody's like, no, you can do it. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? Because I'm Italian. And that side, Italian and Hispanic, I guess it's both the same in the sense. Definitely Italian. You don't just take food, especially the last piece of something, because that could cause a little bit of a rift in the waters, so to speak. So you got to be nice. You got to be smart. And on National Cereal Day, share your cereal. And don't steal somebody's last bowl. That's all I'm saying. So happy Wednesday, March 7th. We're down here in Brooklyn. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is live on location in Brooklyn, New York all week long. We have an extra show this Saturday, March 10th, and I am pumped. Today's show is jam-packed, full of interviews. We have 14 different people that are going to grace the stage of Wake Up Call this morning. I'll be joined by Boston College's Jerome Robinson and Kai Bowman. I'll be joined by Georgia Tech's Josh Okogie and Tadric Jackson. I'll be joined by Rex Pflueger, Bonzie Colson, and Matt Farrell of Notre Dame, and Marek, Dolezaj, Frank Howard, Oshae, Brissett, and Alan Griffin of the Syracuse Orange. Those are all coming up in the first hour of the show. Then, at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time, I am joined by Gene Waldron, Syracuse Orange men's basketball alum, who will be followed at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time by Lawrence Moten, who will be followed at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time by Ryan Blackwell. So, a lot coming up, a lot going to happen here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So, buckle in, folks. This is going to be a jam-packed, exciting show. We have my interviews, 11 different conversations following the first round of the ACC tournament here in Brooklyn, New York at the Barclays Center. Like I said, you'll hear from Boston College, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, and of course Syracuse. And then we'll get into what makes us different and what separates us. Beyond the fact that you're getting 11 different interviews this morning, if that's not enough, that every single broadcast during championship week in the ACC tournament, I am joined by a former Syracuse player, at least one per show, if not more. And that is something that I started back in Washington, when Syracuse is, when the ACC tournament was out in Washington and whatnot. So back in the nation's capital a couple years ago, I started to schedule things, and I was like, oh, I want to get on as many SU players as I can. And then I realized, oh my God, I can do this every day. And I can make it one of my things, make it one of Wake Up Call's things. And so that's what we did. And then last year I did it again. And this year I was like, got to keep the streak going. So I'm very excited that every single broadcast you will hear from at least one former Syracuse basketball player on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We are offering you that unique and innovative experience all week long, all the way through to Saturday, March 10th. You know that there's been a bunch of different Syracuse alumni that have been on the show from the basketball team, from Dajuan Coleman to Bai Musakeda to Trevor Cooney to Gene Waldron, Roosevelt Bowie Jr., Louis Orr, Dale Shackelford, John Wallace, Otis Hill, Lazarus Sims, Ryan Blackwell, Hal Cohen, Howard Trish, Mike Lee, Jim Lee, Brandon Trish, and so on and so on and so on and so on and so forth. So, I am going to have more coming up this week for sure. Dajuan Coleman's going to join me on Thursday, March 8th. Very pumped about that. Dajuan's going to be back on the show, and we're going to have more special guests coming up as they arise. So, make sure that you're tuning in all week long to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, live on location in Brooklyn, New York, here for Championship Week in the ACC Men's Basketball Tournament, and for bracketology. I will be unveiling my bracketology stuff very soon, so I'm very excited about that. Might throw some stuff out there today. We'll see. And you'll find that all on wakeupcalldt.com, and right on the top of the page has all the different, pages, just like any other website. You go on wakeupcalldt.com, and you look at the top of the page for the different pages within it. And if you go to the More tab, the bracketology thing is there from last season, and I'm going to do this year coming up here very, very, very soon as we edge closer to Selection Sunday. I'll be giving my thoughts on who's going where and if they're going and if they're not going, in my opinion. So, with that being said, let's jump into the morning menu because we have so much to discuss.
Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We like to start off the show by giving you our menu of topics. The morning menu, that is. Live now with the morning menu is Dan Tortora.
The morning menu right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and that is going to give you all the topics of the day. We do that sound, that new flavor, that new beat that gets you going, gets me going in the studio. I'm loving it. So we are here in Brooklyn, and the morning menu is going to start with Boston College, move on to Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Syracuse, all of my interviews spanning the 3 games that happened in the first round of the ACC tournament that began with Boston College versus Georgia Tech, 12 versus 13 respectively, then Notre Dame versus Pitt, 10 versus 15 respectively, and then 11 versus 14, Syracuse versus Wake Forest respectively. So, we will get into all of those to start off today's broadcast, and you will hear interviews with a bunch of the players, 11 different interviews, 10 players and 1 assistant coach, with that being Alan Griffin of Syracuse. So let's get it started with Boston College and Georgia Tech. Now, I write stories about each and every single one of these games. You can get them all by going to wakeupcalldt.com and clicking on the Right Now page, which is a play on words, of course. It's what I write, and you can read it right now. So instead of R-I-G-H-T, it's W-R-I-T-E. Now let's get into the games here. Now Boston College never trailed, moves on to face NC State. The first game of the first round of the ACC men's basketball tournament pitted the 12th seeded Boston College Eagles against the 13th seeded Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets for the right to face off with the 5th seeded NC State Wolfpack, which I think is very dangerous in this tournament. Despite 2 early ties at 2-2 and 4-4, Georgia Tech never got above Boston College on the scoreboard, with Boston College holding the lead for almost the entire 40 minutes of the game. Both teams had gone rather quiet offensively for a stretch of the first half, but woke up later on, with the Eagles going into the break ahead by double digits, 36-26 over the Yellow Jackets. Senior guard Tadric Jackson heard his name continuously on the loudspeaker in the second half, with 8 field goals, including 3 in a row for Georgia Tech, but his efforts and late-game push by the entire Yellow Jackets team fell short of the Eagles, who overcame an offensive surge and full-court pressure to emerge victorious 87-77 after Georgia Tech at least made it interesting toward the end of the game. Jackson finished with 29 points on 13 for 24 shooting to lead his team and all scorers from both teams. Sophomore Kai Bowman and Nick Popovich, the sophomores of Boston College, led all scorers for BC, attaining 26 and 20, respectively, with 26 going to Bowman and Popovich with 20. With a record now of 18 and 14 overall, as well as a regular season wins over the Duke Blue Devils and Miami Hurricanes, Boston College still has life and hopes for a berth in the NCAA tournament, moving on to the second round here in the BK. With that being said, let's jump into my conversations with Boston College, and then we'll move on to Georgia Tech. So on the winning side of things, Jerome Robinson and I started our conversation with moving on and still having life, hopefully, for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's awesome for us. I think it's great momentum for us. We haven't been here before, but we know we should be here right now. And I definitely think that we're in a good mapped out position for us to even move forward from farther than this. So,
what is it about this team that you have that never say die approach? I mean, you had a victory against Duke early on for the first ACC game for any teams, and then you had kind of the ups and downs of the season. We're able to do some things here late.
Yeah, it's just sticking to the grind. We know our time will come. And we know we can play really well. We can play against anybody, you know what I mean, in this conference. A lot of close games for us this year that we should have squeezed out, but we ended up not. I think we definitely figured it out, and we've gelled even more throughout the season.
When you look at somebody like Tadric Jackson, just what he was able to do for Georgia Tech, I mean, you guys never followed them in the game at all. You never had to come back from a deficit, but he did a lot of things late in the game. Just what you can say about a senior like him.
Yeah, that was big time for him. I mean, he kept him in the game late, hitting tough shots. I mean, that was crazy to see. I mean, he hit some with us draped over him and getting to the basket and getting fouled. That was a great effort by him, and unfortunately fouled out. So, well, fortunate for us, unfortunate for them. But that was, I mean, his performance towards the end was amazing.
When you look at some of the games that you guys had, I mean, Syracuse the first time around got you. You got them the second time around.
Yep.
When it comes to different things in the background, like what's on the bubble and who's on the bubble and whatnot, does that go into your mind that you were able to squeak out some of those games and even out some of those matchups?
Yeah.
If you just, looking at kind of where you go from here.
Yeah, we know that that some of those games help build to where we are now, and we know if we make this run in the tournament that we can possibly be in the tournament, in the big tournament. And that's our goal, is to make it there, because we know we can play with anybody, and we know we can beat anybody. So I mean, it's great momentum for us, and it's a really good mental note to have as well. It's just something you have in the back of your head that you think that you're better than the team. It's just a lot of confidence.
And then finally, just what you could say about the ACC, not just in this tournament but throughout the entire season, just how nobody was really safe.
Yeah, it's what makes the conference so great. From top to bottom, teams can get beat, and I mean, the atmospheres are amazing in the ACC, and it's just a great conference to play in as well. Yeah, no problem.
That coming once again from Jerome Robinson of the Boston College Eagles. On the winning side of things, 87-77 in this game. His teammate and I also had a conversation, Kai Bowman, and we started off with that reddish maroonish hair, right? The Boston College color, I say is maroon, and Kai Bowman has the hair to match that. I asked him if the hair's good luck at this point. This is what he had to say.
I think the hair is just the thing that's been going. Fans like it. I like it. Coach won't let me change it. I guess gotta keep it going.
And just what you can say about, like you said, keeping it going. This team started off the ACC by beating Duke, and then you guys have had your ups and downs, and now you're moving on here in the ACC tournament. Just what you can say you've learned from the ups and downs of this season inside of the conference.
I'm just showing that we can play against anybody in the conference. As losing against Virginia by one, nobody really been playing them like that close at their place, so that was a big one for us. So just showing that we should stay in this conference, that we're a good team and we can beat anybody on any given night.
And when you look back to that Duke game and moments like that, as well as Syracuse the second time around and having a convincing victory against Syracuse at home, just some of those games and the separation that you had, and like you said, even in a game that you lost with Virginia, that you kept it so close.
Right now, just trying to build off that confidence, just knowing that we can maintain and play when we are good. We're good against anybody, and we can beat anybody in the country when we play good.
So what you can say about Nick? I mean, you and him were the leading scorers on the team in this game in the first round of the ACC tournament this season. Just what you could say about what Nick did in the game as well.
Today he had his best performance. Just come out there helping on the glass and also helping keeping in control, playing calm, not letting his thoughts get to him was a big thing for him.
There was a drought by both teams, you and Georgia Tech, in the first half. Just what you can say about kind of getting through that and trying to navigate through a time where it was quiet for both teams.
With basketball, it's all about leads. Everybody's going to make their punch, and they made their punch in the second half. We made ours in the first half, so we knew that was going to happen, but at the same time, we had to fix it and stop them from that.
What can you say about Coach and what his message has been to you guys all season long, knowing that this is a difficult conference, arguably the most difficult in the country, and that you've had those close games? What has he said to you throughout the season?
Just knowing our team is not the same team that we had before. Like, our team is actually understanding their roles and understand what we got to do to win the game. So right now for us is just building confidence and standing with each other and playing our game.
When there's that thought process that Boston College is only going to win a couple games in the ACC per season, and just a couple of years ago there was a lot of hardship, so to speak. Just what you can say about how much BC has done, how much you guys have done to change the tide and change the way that people think about Boston College.
We knew that coming in, a lot of us, when we came in, we knew that what we was getting onto. So us being able to build the confidence of not just our fans but also our school and our teammates to help us get these wins is a big thing. And we just been staying connected to each other that will help each other.
And then finally with Tadric Jackson on the other side, just what you can say he did as a senior. I mean, he had 8 field goals in the second half. He had 3 in a row. He did a lot of things in that full court pressure as well to try and change the game.
He played a big role in their offense, big role in their kicking in the second half to cut the lead. He's a great player, great guard to play against. He picked up the pressure when they needed to and held his team in it.
That coming once again from Ky Bowman. Ky Bowman, the maroon hair that you see flying around on the court for the Boston College. I love the hair. I do. Ky Bowman, fantastic player for the team right now. They should be very happy. So Ky Bowman and Jerome Robinson both taking care of business for this BC Eagles team as they move forward for the rights as the 12 seed to take on the 5th seeded NC State Wolfpack. And just to give you a note here, Jerome Robinson was 5 of 17, 8 for 9 from the charity stripe, 19.7 rebounds, did have 5 turnovers in the game, though, in 32 minutes. And Popovich had, like I said, 20 points in 32 minutes, 8 for 11 from the field. And Ky Bowman, 8 for 13 from the field, 10 for 13 at the line, 10 rebounds, 26 points. He had 8 turnovers in the game, though. So, fantastic stat line if you take out the turnovers, I'll tell you that much. And how many times did I say that about Frank Howard this season? And he's minimized it since then. So, Frank, I guess all thanks are in order for you listening to the show because you must have heard it. I don't know what it may be. Or we're just on the same wavelength. But, no, Frank's a fun guy to talk to. I've known Frank for a while. So I've known him for all 3 years at Syracuse, plus before he came to Syracuse because we spoke on the phone. So, I got a lot of respect for Frank. I'd like to feel that it's mutual. And I said if he improved his three-point shot and was able to minimize his turnovers, he'd have as good a stat line as a point guard as anybody in this country. Could go up against anybody, at least be in the top 10 in the nation. So, Frank has done a good job of minimizing things and being better. Yeah, he still makes mistakes. Everybody does. But at the end of the day, Frank Howard has more than stepped his game up. And, I saw a point guard ready for March Madness when he's throwing no-look passes against Wake Forest in the game in the first round. And we'll get to all that because I'm excited. But we'll get to all that in just a moment because I want to make sure that we stay on pace here in the morning menu. Georgia Tech, Josh Okogie, him and I spoke. He was on the losing side of things. You listen into the conversation. Kind of sounds like he's getting ready to leave Georgia Tech. I'm just saying. Second half surge, but they lost. What he thought about that?
Most definitely, it was, like I told him, I'm proud of the guys. We fought. We didn't show we didn't show quit. We kept fighting until the time was 0-0-0, and I'm proud of that, and that's all I can say right now.
Tadric Jackson, just what you could say about his efforts. I believe he had 8 field goals in the second half, 3 in a row. Did a lot of things down the stretch to try and get this game closer.
Unbelievable. He was a leader for us this game. Try to follow his steps. He set the tone, and he's the one who got us really going, kept us in the game, and we fed off his energy.
Coming off of this, obviously not the way that you wanted to go. Do you feel like that's how it was with a lot of games this season inside the ACC, that you guys were knocking on the door and just didn't knock it down?
Yeah, most definitely. It felt like we were right there, and the biggest challenge for us this whole season was getting over that hump. There'll be a time where we are down, say, 15, and we'll bring it within 5, and we need to get over that hump to actually get the lead, maybe 1 or 2. But it's been a story this whole season, but definitely, it's not surprising, with a lot of lack of experience we have, because we don't have like 6 returners, and only like 3 of them played last year. So
yeah. So
it was, and we had like 6 freshmen coming in. So I mean, it's a wonderful opportunity. It's great that they learned. They played ACC. Now they have a season under their belt. They know what it takes. They know, where the competition is in relation to how they're playing. So obviously it's going to be a big summer for us and for us, the freshmen right now especially. So they're going to work hard, and I know we'll be stronger next year.
What does it say about the ACC, just how difficult you feel like it was this year, top to bottom?
Man, ACC is the weirdest league. Every year it's either really talented or really disciplined. And this year is the year where it was really disciplined, where, you look like a team like Virginia, they're a really great team, but it's not that one player who's doing it all. There's everybody, chips in, and they're the top of the seed. Where you see a team like maybe Florida State, who has a lot of talent, but they're not at the top because, it's just crazy. Any team can go down any night, any team can win any night, and it's really no A team after Virginia. Everybody else is in a race, but it's a great league. It's one of the best in the country. It is the best in the country. But, I'm happy to play in, and I'm happy for these guys. They get another chance to play in this next year. Just got to keep building.
What do you want people to know about Georgia Tech that goes beyond the record this year?
Our fight. I think, a lot of times you see guys with our record and you play them and you see a lot of quit. Guys who give up, you get a good lead and then they just stop playing. But I think, our record, it's not the best, but every day we come in a fight. Every day we're playing like we're 0-0. So that was the biggest thing for us this year, and I'm proud of these guys, and we'll be back.
What did you learn about yourself this season?
What I learned about myself is, obviously I can do more than I think I can do. Obviously, with Jose being out and a lot of injuries, I've been forced to play in positions I never played before for extended amounts of time, being able to play 40 minutes and, can't even ask for a break because, there's really nobody else to put in. So just knowing, I can push past my limits, and I think that's the biggest thing, going into this year, when I think I'm tired, I just know that I have the extra gear I can always kick into.
Josh Okogie once again, and like I said, listen back to the conversation. He sounds he kind of makes a statement like, like next year for us. But there's a few times in there where he's like, they're going to be okay, they're going to be set. He kind of separates himself from Georgia Tech. I just found it interesting that maybe he'll be making that jump and moving forward. Tadric Jackson, speaking of making a jump, he's planning on trying for the NBA. He had a massive game in this one. Like I said, folks, 29 points, 13 for 24 shooting in the game to lead not only his team but both sides of it, despite the loss. And let's get into it with Tadric Jackson. They surged. They tried to make it back. Just what his takeaway was.
I was just in the mindset of, first off, just trying to get some stops and trying to stop them from scoring. But then, in the back of the head, it's like, I got to attack and, just test this basket. We ain't got nothing to lose. So I was just trying to test this basket, and if they didn't stop me, I was going to keep going. And if they didn't stop me the next time, I was just going to keep going and keep going and keep going. And that was just my mentality the whole second half.
So you can say, as a senior and knowing that you'll be moving on, just you could feel that energy in the second half from you in the game, that you just were getting after it personally and just wanted to obviously change the outcome of this thing.
Yeah, I think that's any player. I feel like, you're going to have that one or two guys that's going to, play hard and make a difference in the game and make a difference in the team. And I feel like I was, definitely was that player. And I was just trying to bring the energy and trying to almost get the pressure off me by scoring, by trying to get everybody else open. And they just let me score. They was just not adjusting to it. So I was just doing what I do best and attacking the basket.
So what you can say about this season as a whole? Those games that you were in that don't end up going in your favor, the record not adequately showing what Georgia Tech is, just what you can say about, those close calls, those close opportunities that didn't go your way this season.
Yeah, we had to dig in like last year, we had 3-4 seniors that we didn't let those close games get away from us. We had a lot of veteran guys and a lot of guys that played there for 3 to 4 years. And, this year was kind of, almost the same and almost better talent. And, we had 2 seniors and you had Josh Okogie to have enough experience to know what it feels, to know how to win and lose, or know how to win. But, we needed more guys to actually know how to win, what it takes to get a stop here and what the possession meant. Every possession is precious. We were just so close this year that we just could not get over the hump. And from the difference from the team from last year, we knew how to get stops and we knew what it was going to take to get the 50-50 balls and extra effort plays. And like this year, I don't feel like that happened a lot this year. And I think that's one thing we got to get better at, closing games. When we got teams up by 10, I feel like we just got to go and just close it on out and not let teams get back in the game and stuff like that and that nature.
You're stuck around, and obviously you'll be heading out after this, your senior season. Just what you can say about your future and your thoughts about moving forward.
I'm just going to keep getting better individually, from this point on, and, put my ass in the back and see where that goes, and, just keep working out and try to sign an agent and then go from there.
What is it about you that you believe somebody should have you on their team? What is special and unique about the way that you play, what you do, the type of person that you are on and off the court?
Just got heart. That's all it is. I feel like I have a big heart and love the game, and I can bring that energy and the toughness to any team. And I'm a bigger guard, with a bigger frame, and like in the ACC, I was able to post other bigger guards and smaller guards too. And like I said, I just feel like I got heart and toughness. I think that's what the team's gonna be looking at me, and I just play extremely hard and have a lot of enthusiasm and have a great feel for the game.
This is a wake-up call, fast break.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Clothing that will change with you without you having to change. DreissigLady.com, DREISSIG Lady.com. With the Bamboo line Relax Fit clothing as well as the Athletic Fit clothing, DreisigLady.com is fit for any woman, any time of the day, anywhere. Whatever you're doing, whatever your day commands of you, command yourself to feel comfortable in Dreisig Lady Apparel. DREISSIG Lady.com. For all the women out there, feel good in what you're wearing. And don't feel like you have to constantly change throughout the day. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, a business owner, going for a jog, going for a meeting, or just relaxing at home, DreisigLady.com is the right fit for you. DREISSIG Lady.com.
This is Lawrence Papaleo, licensed real estate salesperson for Gilbo Realty. Call our home office at 315-752-9513, or better yet, call or text me directly at 315-748-2524.
Let me ask you a question, Lawrence. If I needed you to help me buy a house, find the right place, could you help me do that?
Joe, I'll help you find your dream home.
You don't ever say my name on the radio, never. If I needed to sell a house, could you help me go about that the right way?
Yes, I can.
How do they get a hold of you?
Call me directly at 315-748-2524.
But you also do the commercial property. So if I got a business, couple businesses, gotta take one here, move it over there, do this, do that, are you gonna help me buy and sell my commercial property also?
Yes, sir.
I like that. What's my name again?
I have no idea.
Absolutely, but they need to know your name, so give it one more time.
This is Lawrence Papaleo, licensed real estate salesperson for Gilbo Realty. My phone number is 315-748-2524.
Why don't you tell them your name one more time and that number so we can jot it down?
This is Lawrence Papaleo. Call me or text me directly at 315-748-2524.
Muddy Waters Kitchen and Bar is your home on the water for every season. Join them on Wednesdays for all-you-can-eat wings, chicken thighs, and drumsticks from 3 to 9 p.m. And on Thursdays, join me, Dan Tortora, for live game show night, a new night out unlike anything you've played before in Central and Upstate New York, every Thursday at 7 p.m. And while you're there on Thursdays at Muddy Waters Kitchen and Bar, from 5 to 9 p.m., join them for the barbecue all-you-can-eat buffet with buffet-style sides, ribs and pulled pork, chicken thighs, and drumsticks. And on Wednesdays and Thursdays, all-day happy hour. You know how to get it done right at Muddy Waters Kitchen and Bar on 2 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Very proud to be here with you this morning, live on location from the BK, Brooklyn, New York. We are down here in Brooklyn with live episodes of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. The normal schedule, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, but here in Brooklyn for championship week in the ACC men's basketball tournament. We have so much going on today, can't miss a beat, so we're moving on to the next game. We have 14 different interviews today. You just heard from Boston College and Georgia Tech. Then Notre Dame took on Pittsburgh in a very close game, close quarters for Notre Dame, something that I'm sure they were happy to get out of, and not necessarily really happy with how close it was, but I mean, this is a team that just finds a way to find the positives. You know, from Bonzie Colson to Matt Farrell to Rex Pflueger and company, this is a team that just, they have poise. They're dangerous all the time. They never give up on themselves, which is what makes Notre Dame so dangerous. Yeah, they have talent. Yeah, they have ability. Yeah, they have a great coach in Mike Bray, but they never see the glass half empty. And that's a huge, huge piece of their success. Getting into this Notre Dame game here, the second game of the first round of the 2018 ACC men's basketball tournament. Two former Big East foes who have continued their rivalry, 10th-seeded Notre Dame, 15th-seeded Pittsburgh. Notre Dame has not had the season some expected of them, which coincided with senior forward Bonzie Colson playing in a mere 16 of the team's 31 regular season games. In the 15 games without him, the Fighting Irish posted a record of 7-8, which included a 7-game losing streak inside of ACC play. Colson returned with 2 games remaining in the regular season, both inside the ACC. They defeated Pittsburgh in the second to last game of the season and then fell to the Virginia Cavaliers by 5 points. On the other side, Pittsburgh's had a shell of a season in the sense of what they're known to be. They're known to be a tough out. They were anything but that this year, except for in this game. Panthers did not win a single game in ACC play this season, going 0 for 18. They were looking for their first win going into the ACC tournament and facing off against Notre Dame for the second time in 3 games. Freshman guard Parker Stewart tied the game at 10-10 for Pittsburgh off of his 3 with 14:41 left before halftime, and freshman forward Terrell Brown would tie the game once again for Pittsburgh approximately a minute and a half later on a dunk, but Notre Dame would not be shaken in the opening half, expanding out to a double-digit lead, 36-24 at halftime. Second half was a different chapter in the story. Pittsburgh narrowed their deficit to 1 possession when Marcus Carr attacked and took contact at the rim, making the shot and the subsequent free throw, followed by Carr's pass that set up Stewart, who launched and connected from deep, bringing Notre Dame's lead to 48-45. As close as the Panthers came, however, the Fighting Irish would not allow them to overtake the advantage. Notre Dame would never trail the entire 40 minutes of the game, despite Pittsburgh's 13-6 run that brought about the aforementioned 48-45 situation. the game was lowered to just 2 points of separation, 63-61, after the Panthers knocked down 3 big-time shots from beyond the arc, 2 coming from junior guard Jared Wilson-Frame and the 3rd coming from freshman guard Marcus Carr. An interesting foul call on Pittsburgh after Notre Dame seemingly went over the back, if anything, placed Colson at the charity stripe, and that put the team up 65-61. Carr would then lose the handle on a really, I mean, this is one of those things that you can't let sit with you. You just got to get past it, but this is a tough one. The ball went off of his foot. Team loses the ball, eventually loses the game. 67-64 victory. Irish continue to fight for their hopeful spot in the NCAA tournament, now with a record of 19-13, and the Panthers have not won a single game in the ACC this season. They end the ACC play at 0-19. Coming up here for Notre Dame is Rex Pflueger about not trailing and just playing down the stretch.
Everyone in the ACC is a good team. It doesn't matter who you are. So they made it a tough game, and you went into March. Anything can happen. I'm really proud of our team, just how we handled it. Having our guys back almost at full strength right now is awesome. And I think this was a great game moving forward for us to have that type of game time situations, because we know through a run that we're going to hopefully make this March, there's going to be a lot of close games. So this was good that we got one of these and pulled it out.
And you said the run that you'll hopefully make in March. Do you feel like this team, in your opinion, for Notre Dame has done enough to be in consideration?
I believe so. With all the adversity that has hit us, and just our whole attitude on going in and fighting every single game, and just seeing the passion that every single one of our teammates has is just unbelievable. I've never been a part of a team like this where we genuinely care for each other and for this team to keep playing. And we just want to keep fighting for our school and for just everyone around us.
You didn't have Bonzie Colson for 15 games. In that stretch, the team went 7-8. Just what you can say about life without Bonzie and just what that did and what it taught you.
7-8 in the ACC isn't that bad. Without one of the best players in the country, that says a lot about our team. That was a very tough stretch. In a few of those games, we didn't have Matt Farrell, 13 All-ACC player. And I just think this team is just so tough and resilient and very smart when it comes to the end of the game, as we showed today.
And there were those points. It was a 3-point game. It was a 3-point game again. It was a 2-point game. Just what you can say about staying poised and in situations like that against a team like Pittsburgh, who's got nothing to lose and is fighting for everything. Just what you can say you did to buckle down and keep your calm as a team.
That just has to speak to the amount of veterans that we have on this team that have been through the fire. Speaking about just multiple players, our whole senior class has been to 2 Elite Eights. Myself and Elijah Burns have been to 1 Elite Eight. So we understand the pressures that come with March. Last year we won the ACC championship. And so, we just have a lot of players that understand situations. And you just got to stay composed. No matter the outcome, no matter what happens, you just got to keep a calm demeanor and just know everything's going to work out and just hope it does.
When it comes down to this point in the season, and they talk about on the bubble and which teams are in and which teams aren't, you and Syracuse are hanging there in the balance, but you got that victory over Syracuse by 2 at the buzzer without Bonzie and without Matt Farrell. Just what you can say about games like that where you're able to pull it off.
That just speaks to the testament of this team. Coach Bray recruits great players, and so when a great player goes down, we just look to the next guy to come up and step up. Whether they play good or not, it doesn't matter, because we know it's going to be a great experience for them moving forward. And I'm just super happy for where this team is right now, and we just got to get rest up and get ready for tomorrow.
That coming once again from Rex Pflueger of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Coming up next is Bonzie Colson, the team going 7-8 without him. Just what he thought about their play when he was out for those 15 games.
Yeah, obviously it was a tough stretch that we went through, and throughout all, we knew we were going to have to fight everything we did. Nobody was hanging heads on each other. We took like men, and we stayed together through it all. And during those games, we just asked each other just to empty the tank, give it our all, and that's all you can ask for, during that time period. And that's just what it is.
You decided to come back this season, and then you go down with an injury. Just what was going through your head when you looked at that opportunity? You decided to come back to Notre Dame, and then you're out 15 games.
Yeah, something you don't really think about getting injured. And, it was a weird kind of play. I just got a rebound and dribbling up the court, and I kind of felt something weird. And, through the whole time, I just, I wasn't feeling down on myself. Everything happens for a reason. I kept God first through it all. When Coach Brady told the team, the guy said, hey, I'm going to still need you to be a leader. I'm going to still need you to be a vocal leader, and that's what I was doing. Using my game experience, my knowledge and my competitiveness to my advantage to teach, to help guys put them in a good situation to be successful on the floor.
There's games this season where, they say that Notre Dame's on the bubble, they say Syracuse on the bubble. You're able to get the win over Syracuse in the Dome at the buzzer without you and without Matt Farrell. What did that say about your team?
Yeah, it just shows who we are. It shows our character. So we could play no matter who we have on the court, and we played hard that game. That's all you can ask. It was a great game. Me and Matt were watching the locker room going crazy, and guys stepped up. Guys, stepped up and played really well that game, and just shows who we are. Shows our character.
Bring me into your rehab process and just what was going through your mind, and if you tried to speed it up a little bit, to get back for those last couple games, to get back for this, just how your rehab was supposed to go, and if you kind of said to them, hey, listen, if we got to do this thing in a couple months, let's make it a month instead.
Yeah, I was grinding every day in the training room, doing stem treatment, keep trying to do some calf exercises and also lifting every day, upper body, just to keep that strength. And then that's when I was in the cast and with the crutches. And as soon as I got the cast off, started running a little bit, started doing a little bit of leg, workouts, try to, did some hurdles and did some agility workouts. And then just staying positive through it all. That was a tough time for me. But I felt like, if you stay positive, cures healing, and I think I did that. It did. And, I didn't really try to come back earlier, maybe the Wake Forest game a little bit, but I knew I wasn't ready, in basketball shape, but I didn't have a practice before that. So, getting back into the rhythm of things was kind of something that kind of went smoothly within that process. Before we played Pitt, we had a practice, and our chemistry was great. It's like nothing happened. So it felt good to be out there.
And in closing, just what you can say about if your teammates took care of business while you were gone, just what you saw from them.
Yeah, they did. They played their hearts out every game. We grinded. Nobody was complaining. We all stepped up to the challenge. Nobody was down on ourselves, and that's all you can ask for. It shows that we have men, shows that we grind no matter who's on the court, and shows that we have heart.
Bonzie Colson, once again, of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, one of my favorite players in the country, and that was before this season even started. Decided to come back as a senior and unfortunately went down with 15 games with an injury, but is back at the perfect time for Notre Dame, and they're going to need every single bit of them as they play Virginia Tech coming up here in the second round today from Brooklyn here at the ACC Tournament. Coming up next from Notre Dame is Matt Farrell, just the team taking care of what they needed to do. With him out and with Bonzie Colson out, the team found ways to take care of business, including in that game against Syracuse at the buzzer. This is what Matt Farrell had to say.
They've played their hearts out. I just was talking to whoever I was talking to, talked about the UNC game. It's a game we felt we should have won. There was a questionable call at the end, and we lose on free throws. And then they play Virginia Tech at home, and they put themselves in position to win. It was tough. It wasn't easy, but it was fun. It's a challenge that we accepted with everything that we've gone through this year. Can only make us stronger. So that's our attitude.
You're here on the team. Bonzie decided to come back. You never know when an injury is going to happen. Just what you learned from that, what this team learned from that, having to play without you and having to play without him.
Trust the system here. Trust the culture here. Trust the coaches. Trust your teammates. It was tough. We lost 7 games in a row. We lose those close games, and then we go down to Durham, play Duke, and get our asses kicked. It wasn't easy, but I think it speaks volumes to everybody's character in this locker room. Luckily, we have a great staff, great coaches, great managers, and that speaks volumes to the culture here. And we fought through it. So.
I was talking with Rex Pflueger about it, not having Bonzie for 15 games. The team goes 7-8. He goes, well, for a stretch like that inside of the ACC, it's not too shabby. Is what you could say about that.
Yeah, for sure. We fought. We kind of, after those first 9 games, we had a meeting in the locker room and we ripped up all the stats and we said the back 9, it's a fresh start, and I think we win. What do we go on the back 9? 5-4. We were 5-4. So that was great for us to go that way in the back 9, and we're kind of getting Bonzie back and getting me back and getting back into the flow of things. So we battled all year, and we're gonna have to battle again tomorrow.
What you can say about the team, how the team feels right now, and if you feel like it's back to 100% or close to that.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's tough because our starting 5 hasn't really played together a lot, and we're still trying to figure some things out. But listen, we know how to play with each other. We got good players, and tomorrow's a really good challenge for us, and we're excited.
This is a wake-up call, Fast Break.
Hey, Wake Up Call listeners, this is Tom Taylor, owner of Sammy Malone's, located at 2 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York, overlooking the beautiful Seneca River. We proudly open our doors to you 7 days a week, beginning at 11 a.m. daily, with free parking. Whether it's game day, after-work drinks, or a meal with family and friends, we are honored that you come visit us. Call 315-635-5407 for parties and catering. I'll see you at Sammy Malone's, home of the best sandwich in Beeville.
Hi, this is Domenico Vitali, owner of Giovanni's Formal Wear, where you look great and feel even better with our renowned tailoring and alteration services on any suit or any tuxedo from anywhere. Call 315-455-8729. That's 315-455-8729. Stop in locally on Route 11 in North Syracuse, next to the Ponderosa Plaza, where you can choose your style, get fitted, and tailored, all at Giovanni's Formal Wear.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
For all of us that have always wanted our favorite restaurant to come to us, it's now a reality in Central New York with It's a Utica Thing, with Utica Pizza Company bringing their wonderful recipes that they've handed down through generations to you, to your event, to your business, to your home. It's a Utica Thing, proudly bringing Utica Pizza Company on wheels to your location. Call 315-738-8946. That's 315-738-8946 to bring Utica Pizza Company to your doorstep with It's a Utica Thing.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, live on location in Brooklyn, New York. We are here. This is day 2 of the ACC Tournament. It is the second round. There are plenty of games on the docket. The first matchup today, we'll see two teams that didn't play yesterday, the 8 and the 9. That is Florida State going up against Louisville. And then from there, we'll see Boston College, the number 12 seed that advanced from the first round, take on number 5 seeded NC State. And from that moment, we will see the next team go up. We'll see number 7 Virginia Tech, who didn't play yesterday, take on number 10 Notre Dame. And Syracuse, the number 11 seed, will take on 6-seeded North Carolina in a rematch from a game that was tied 74-74, and then all hell broke loose in the last few minutes of that game inside the Carrier Dome. With that being said, I know I promised you Syracuse men's basketball interviews from day number 1, and you will get those before the end of the show, but we want to get to Gene Waldron, want to get him on the broadcast here, Syracuse Orange men's basketball alum. So Oshae, Brissett, Alan Griffin, Frank Howard, Marek, Dolezaj will all be joining the show in just a little bit. My conversations with them following day 1 of the tournament, but not before we hear from Mr. Gene Waldron. Gene, how you doing today?
Good. Feeling good. Woke up this morning, got my 5 miles in, and really excited about tonight, especially after the performance they put in yesterday. It looks encouraging.
Yeah, when we see this team, and you and I were speaking about it off the air a little bit, Gene, that this team has been, and you'll hear me talk with Oshae Brissett about this in just a little bit, this team has been an enigma. They have been that, yeah, they're there, no, they're not, yes, they are. Well, and it's been so back and forth that you get really, really excited as a fan, and then you shake your head, and then you get excited again, and then you're confused, and then you get excited again, and then you don't know. So what do you think about this team? Do you feel like they've caught their stride at all? I mean, this is a team that'll win 4 in a row and lose, 2 in a row, lose, 3 in a row, lose. Their longest streak of having 6 games in a row was at the beginning of the season, where 5 out of those 6 they were anticipated to win. So, just what you could say about, I mean, this team gets going, and then they halt, and then they go again, but they're in a place right now where they can't halt. There is no other game after the game if you halt at this point.
Well, I think they had some momentum going into the ACC tournament. I think they were starting to play well. I think one of the biggest key for me is you started to see Dolezaj catch his stride a little bit the last couple of games of the season. And I think now he's got a little bit of confidence, and I think they all got a little bit of confidence in him. And they just seem to be playing a little bit better together as a unit. You're still going to have those situations where Tyus and Howard's going to have to do their thing, and Oshae going to have to do their thing one-on-one, and that's going to have to happen. But I think the other two guys are really starting to show a little bit more, and I think that makes a big difference in the way that they play right now.
And I want to take a look at, what Pascal has been able to do. He had 14 points in this game. He's a 7'2" guy who makes his free throws. Started the game off by making free throws. Just what you could say about, Pascal, his blocking ability into, people giving him garbage about his hands, but obviously he knows how to throw the ball down, and he seems to have a nice relationship with Frank Howard on those alley-oops, and that worked multiple times in the game. I think it worked more times in the game, in this game here, in the ACC tournament against Wake Forest than maybe they've used it all season. So just what you could say about how Pascal seems like he's catching a nice stride right now.
Well, Pascal is really starting to come along. Him and Dolezaj, they're really starting to come along these last couple of games. When you look at, he's getting the ball inside, he's getting some rebounds, he's getting some blocks, and then he's, 7'2". You throw that ball up in the air. Him and Howard's got a good communication thing going now, and he's catching a lot of alley oops, and that puts pressure on the defense. I think it's going really, really well right now. I think the confidence is growing, but NC is a different animal, but I still think that those two guys have made the difference in the way that they're playing right now.
And Dolezaj, not only did he have a single-game career day with 20 points, but he led the entire team. He had more points than Tyus Battle. If I told you, Gene, that Marek was going to outscore Tyus in a game this season, you'd probably think I was insane. Yet he's found a way to get it done, and he kind of, it's funny, against Clemson, he thought about shooting a couple times and looked hesitant taking jump shots, and then he just attacked and went after it, went down the lane, took the contact, threw the ball up, made the shot. In this game, not so different. He attacked, but he did take a jump shot early on in the game and was able to cash in. And I think when he makes an early jump shot in this game, it builds his confidence. And then, we know that he can get after it at the basket. I mean, he took on 3 guys at one point, banged around like a pinball, and was able to get the ball up in the air. I mean, his physicality is just, it's amazing. And I think it's hilarious that people looked at his body and said, oh, well, he's not strong enough to handle this. Obviously, that's not a true statement.
Oh, no. I mean, he dunked the ball on one guy last night, got the foul, went up and split 2 guys, got fouled, and scored another basket, and that's the key for him. He'll bring his defense, but I think he's got some offense that we haven't really seen up until last night and possibly the game before. He's got a nice little jump shot. He knows how to get to the basket. It's a pretty good free throw shooter, and he goes after every loose ball. If there's a loose ball in his area, he's going to try to get it. He blocks a couple of shots. He does not take any plays off, and I think that's what I like about him. And I think it's starting to filter through the team when you see last night how the loose balls Syracuse got. Maybe 80% of the loose balls that were on the floor. And that's something that you didn't see early in the season.
No, and just what you could say about his tenacity, Marek Dolezaj is something that doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but the fact that he is willing to get after everything. He reminds me of Christophe Angenat and what Christophe would do in the sense of everybody was like, people would make fun of him and go, what did Christophe do? What did he bring to the team? He was just this guy that was out there for 4 minutes in a game, but nothing showed up, almost nothing showed up in the stat sheet when he's flying all over the ground and just like squeaking across the floor and trying to get after the ball. The difference between Christophe and Marek is that Marek doesn't only go after everything, but he scores the ball. We obviously know he could be a threat offensively, and when people are looking at Syracuse, the greatest thing happened for the Orange in this first round of the ACC tournament. Everybody expected Tyus Battle, Oshae Brissett, and Frank Howard. And what happened? Pascal Chukwu, as well as Marek Dolezaj, got after it, scored, and now North Carolina has to watch this film and go, okay, so if we leave these guys, then these guys are going to be open, but if we leave these guys, then these guys are going to be open. So now, I mean, all 5 starters got into double digits, and Wake Forest isn't a cakewalk, despite what their record shows. So, I mean, if Syracuse did anything for themselves, they made them, in my opinion, made themselves a little bit scarier on film moving forward.
Oh, and I have to say so. I mean, because North Carolina is not the greatest defensive team if you look at it. So I think from that standpoint, if these guys, they get going, and you get Pascal, and you know, you get the other guys going, I just think that you're going to need all 5 of them tonight. You know, the big 3 have to bring it, but the rest have to respond. It's going to be a long basketball game, you know, and they have to stay out of foul trouble. And one of the biggest thing that hurt them, I think, it was the offensive and defensive rebound. So they got to really stay on top of that.
Yeah, and you know, when we look at, you know, this, how the team has played so far, and we speaking here with Gene Waldron, Syracuse Orange men's basketball alum, you know that Wake Up Call during championship week is joined by at least one Syracuse basketball player in the family, one former Syracuse basketball player, every single broadcast. And it is no different this season. We had Roosevelt Bowie Jr. and Dale Shackelford. We have Gene Waldron on the air right now with us. Gene, to take a look at, you know, the up and down of this season, what have you learned from this team? They got to 20 wins. They got to the, you know, what the committee typically we think it goes after is 20 wins or 20-12. They have a quality wins against Virginia Tech, against Clemson. They split with Boston College, who's still in this thing for the ACC tournament. They won at Georgetown, at Miami, at Louisville, and Buffalo, who's a good team this year. They beat them at home and got 80 on them. So, what have you learned from the team at this point?
I think that one of the biggest things that I have to say is that they always show that they have the capability of beating anybody or being in a game any given night, and I think probably one of the biggest things is that they exceeded their expectations. So they have nothing to be ashamed of. They have nothing to lose but just go out there and play. And I think they did that last night against Wake. They just went out there and played. And also, you know, it's that time of year now. You're going to see who has it and who doesn't have it. And last night, Oshae really didn't have it. He kind of was, you know, he didn't score a whole lot, but it was nice to see everybody else pick up the slack. And now I'm thinking, well, tonight if the big 3 bring it and the other 2 bring it and we get a little bit of help from the bench, just a little bit, you know, I think we got a really good chance of winning. I really, truly think we got a good chance of winning.
Yeah, when we look at this, I mean, you look at Syracuse going up against North Carolina, and you know North Carolina shot extremely well inside of the Carrier Dome. You know, Joel Berry II, pretty much, you know, whenever the ball touched his hands, he was getting after it in a big time way. You know, we look at the debacle. 3 minutes and 7 seconds left. Syracuse had trailed the whole game. It's 74-74 with 3:07 to go in the Carrier Dome. Syracuse, North Carolina. And then Pascal pulls off a big-time offensive rebound off the backboard, puts it on the floor. Joel Berry takes it away. He goes like Speedy Gonzalez down the lane and is able to make that layup. And then Syracuse takes that three-point shot. Frank Howard with plenty of time. I think there's 32.9 seconds left on the game clock. Takes a 3. It goes wide right. And then Joel Berry gets fouled. He hits 2 free throws. And then Syracuse comes down and throws up a wily shot that gets blocked, and then Oshae tries a 3 in the corner. Definitely not the play calling you wanted to see down the stretch, but what did it tell you about that game? That Syracuse trailed the entire time, found a way to tie it in the final 3 minutes, and, you know, outside of some bad play calling, they were right there in the game, and you could even argue to say that if they were smarter on their offensive possessions, maybe that one swung their way or at least to overtime at that point.
And that's why I think tonight, if that's going to be the situation, you got those other 2 that are playing with confidence. You got the other 2 that are playing with confidence. So they can possibly say to myself, well, if I don't have the shot, can I pass it to Pascal? Can I pass it to Dolezaj? Can they make a play? And I think after what you saw last night, hopefully, you know, Tyus and Oshae and Howard, they have the confidence to say, well, if I don't have it, can I give it to these guys and let them make a play? Because they did that last night. So for me, if it's close, I think it's either going to be a close game or we're getting blown out. That's how I see it.
Gene Waldron letting you know what's going on, either a close game or a blowout. What is your biggest concern with North Carolina? What is it about them that is the biggest concern to you? Is it the outside shooting? Is it just their methodical sense of, they seem to stay relatively calm, but I want to go back to North Carolina's schedule here for a second and let people know kind of what the seasons look like for North Carolina. Now remember, folks, they were in the top 4 inside of the ACC. They were in the top 3 inside of the ACC, and in the last week had fallen out all the way to number 6, which is why they're facing Syracuse here in the second round of the ACC tournament and not playing in the quarterfinals and getting a rest for the first couple games. This team defeated Clemson and lost to Clemson the second time around, so they have a split with Clemson. They lost to NC State. They lost to Virginia Tech. They lost to Miami. They lost to Duke. So, when you look at North Carolina, they lost to teams that Syracuse had taken down. They split with NC State, pardon me here, but losing to Miami, losing to Virginia Tech, those are some of the victories that Syracuse can hang their hat on. And the team has been good this season. They've been strong this season, but at the same time, North Carolina has shown that they're vulnerable, and obviously in Syracuse's case against, in the Carrier Dome, they left the door open. They didn't slam the door shut on Syracuse. So, where are the vulnerabilities if you see them?
Well, it's the fact that they're not a great defensive team. They don't play a lot of defense, but I think the one thing that Syracuse has got to be aware of, that they will go at the offensive rebound. They will definitely do that, but on the defensive end, that's where I think we get a really strong team. I think Tyus, Oshae, and Howard are more equipped to get into the basket than they are getting to our basket. They've got to protect that zone. Don't let Carroll get off. They can't let him start hitting some shots, because if he hits some early shots, it could be a long night. And they got to keep him off the boards. And I think that's one of the biggest things. Keep them off the offensive boards, and when the game is tight, have faith in all 5 guys, not just 3.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing. And Marek, I was speaking with Adrian Autry about it. He had made the statement to me that the team wanted Marek to know, we have faith in you. They wanted him to know you can shoot the ball, and Oshae kind of going over to him and different guys going to him and saying, we need you. And Adrian said that it got to a point where the team was kind of saying to him, hey, you're hindering the team and you're hurting the team by not taking the shot. And we saw him very hesitant against Clemson, and then he just went to the basket. In the game that I was mentioning against Wake Forest here in Brooklyn in the first round, he hesitated a couple times, and you even heard the fans shoot it. And then all of a sudden he took that jump shot. And I was completely surprised that he took that, because faking and go to the basket I can see, but he took that jumper, and when that jumper fell in, I don't know if the crowd cheered any louder than that moment in the game when Marek Dolezaj took the jump shot and it fell in for him. And, he has so much in the tank, but they have to let him play. And I'm not looking over at the bench at Jim Boeheim. I know Jim can be hard on his guys sometimes, and maybe it's not the greatest thing for him to make a comment that a guy can't shoot or a guy can't do this or do that, because it doesn't help the confidence of that player. But for Marek and for all the guys out there, you're not coming out this season more often than not. I don't mean that in a negative way, but there's nobody to take your spot. So you know what I mean? So in Marek's case, let it fly. And if you miss, 3 of them wide, then okay, maybe we stop. But, why not get after it? Why not do it? Because I'll tell you, if they didn't have Marek and they didn't have Pascal, that's 34 points. They don't win the game against Wake Forest.
Well, another thing is, shoot it anyway. So at least the defense is saying, well, he's going to shoot. I mean, you got to do it. If they're thinking you're not going to do anything, then they can back off and help out more times than none. But if they're seeing that you're going to shoot the ball, then they got to try to defend. And then if you hit a few, then that makes it even tougher. Then the help can't be as much. So I think tonight it's huge. I've got a feeling we're overdue. We're overdue with this team, and I mean, it's not like we can't put up points. And then, like I said, North Carolina is not the greatest defensive team, but those big three have to be on tonight. I mean, because North Carolina is a different animal. Those three have to be on. You know, and if they're on, and you have Pascal and Cuckoo going, and it's just going to be, you know, if you have Pascal and Dolezaj going, could you imagine? And they stay out of foul trouble, because that might be a concern too for Pascal, him getting in foul trouble. You know, we got to keep him out of foul trouble because he's more offensive minded than the other guy.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing is, you know, Syracuse's bench with Matt Moyer, like we had spoken about, he's got a tight leash on him, and he's got a Caleb Joseph-ish leash on him right now at this point. And then Barama Sidibe, you know, Barama hasn't been fully 100% really all season, which has affected it. But, you know, don't count him out. Not necessarily offensively, but I'm just looking at it like you can't count out a guy like Barama because he really is, his hand-eye coordination and blockage. I could just see him coming into a game and everybody going, oh, yeah, it's Barama, he's not going to do it. And then he just, like, swats the hell out of you. So, I mean, there's always that component that Barama is going to do it. I mean, think about the Pittsburgh game in Pittsburgh at the Peterson when he came out and everybody's like, is he healthy, is he not healthy? And he just went off in that game.
Yeah, well, and don't be surprised if it comes to it that these guys get in some foul trouble and Moyer has to go in there. Don't be surprised if he pulls a couple of tricks out of his bag. Don't be surprised. I mean, because if it comes to it and you have to produce, you better produce. If it comes to it where these other guys are in foul trouble and he's got no other choice to put Moyer in the game and Sidibe in the game, you better be able to produce. Hey, stop it. My dogs are acting crazy right now.
It's all good. and Gina, I got to tell you that one of the fans just wrote into the show, said if we beat North Carolina, I'm going streaking, and I just put I'll alert the authorities if that is something.
Yeah, so well, I'm sitting up here thinking, well, if they pull this one off, I might be taking a road trip because I've been going to the tournament. Even when it was Big East and AC, I've been going. My wife and I've been going every year, and this is the one year we said, no, you know, we didn't feel comfortable going because of the play. The up and down has really been inconsistent. But you know, with that being said, me sitting up here, the wife and I sitting up here watching the game last night, I was like, wow, something we always do, and we didn't do it. She says, well, every time we go, they lose. I was like, well, don't look at it like that.
You can't look at Gene. Listen, I'm down in the BK. If you want to come to Brooklyn, you can come down here. I'll welcome you to Brooklyn.
You know?
Yeah, we got to take care of Brooklyn because this is the thing. It's in Brooklyn, and I'm starting to get. This is the thing I don't like. I'm starting to get used to it, right? Because I'm a Big East kid, so I know that Madison Square Garden, and I was there for that last Madison Square Garden Big East tournament when it was the Big East with Syracuse and Georgetown, Louisville, and all that. So I'm liking big city life, and I enjoy it. Now, I enjoy Greensboro, and I enjoy Charlotte. I enjoy all of them, but there's a feel about this place, and you know what? The man gets comfortable, and then they take it away from the man. I mean, I get to enjoy it this year, Gene, and then Jesus knows when we're coming back to Brooklyn, so, you know, right. you got to – listen, if it's just for the food, and it's just for the entertainment, and it's just for BK, and it's just for the Barclays, and it's just for hanging out with, you know, me for a few minutes at the game – it is worth the road trip, Gene. So get the hell out of Dodge. Get yourself down here, and let's have some fun in the BK because we might not be back here till like 2035. Who knows?
But let me tell you, my wife, if we decide to go, you know the missus is coming because she loves New York City.
Yeah. Now, do you take her out? Does she go to like Canal Street and stuff? She go shopping, or what's she do?
She does all that. Okay. Cats, all that, all the everywhere. Canal Street. Canal Street's a place. Brings back all the stuff they have down there, the bags. You know what I'm saying? She brings all that stuff.
Now, does she take your car to Canal Street, or she take hers?
Oh no! You know, there's no way she's taking her my wife ain't driving her car to New York City. She says, no, we take that truck.
Okay. Is she taking the credit card from you, or is she using hers?
Oh no! She's using hers.
Oh, okay.
Oh no! Now, that's going too far.
Well,
I might buy a meal or two.
Okay, well, yeah, that's fair enough, Gene. You know, you feed your wife because we see it on Facebook all the time. She feeds you pretty damn well. You can feed her a little bit.
Yeah, I can't complain.
That coming from Gene Waldron, who will, if Syracuse beats North Carolina, will get his butt in the truck and get down here and celebrate some BK life with me. Gene, as always, man, I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you, hopefully, this week.
Okay, bud. Take care. Thanks for having me.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. That coming from Gene Waldron once again. Gene, man. He's a cool dude. I love him. I really do. He's a fun guy. Fun to be around. He's going to be at the CNY Pop Festival. So are so many former Syracuse athletes, football and basketball, and entertainers from the TV and movie world, from The Flash, from Power Rangers, from Gremlins, from Star Wars, from Planet of the Apes, from Cousin It, from the Addams Family. Get your tickets now. CNYPopFestival.com. Listen, I'm in the BK right now. Right, I'm in like the stomping grounds of New York Comic Con, so I know what it's like with big life and big shows and big this and big that. We're doing something so different for the CNY Pop Festival that it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's a Comic Con and a Sports Con thrown together with local vendors for food and local businesses getting together. It is a celebration of Central and Upstate New York and bringing in people from all over the country. My entertainers are coming from Las Vegas. They're coming from St. Louis. They're coming from Vancouver. They're coming from Toronto. They're coming from L.A., and they're coming from your neck of the woods right there in Central and Upstate New York and New York City. So you need to buy your tickets now. They're not expensive. $30 for VIP while supplies last. And if you buy tickets right now in the May the 4th promotion, you will get a free children's admission with the purchase of an adult ticket. So for every adult that buys a ticket, you get a free child ticket if you buy the promo one. You can't just buy the adult presale. You have to buy the one that says May the 4th be with you. That is free child with an adult purchase. Go buy your tickets now at cnypopfestival.com and at cnypopfestival.eventbrite, eventbrite.com. We'll take a step aside, come back with Lawrence Moten in just a moment.
This is a wake-up call, Fast Break.
Gear up with the real deal at Dreisig Apparel, creating what people are going to see and learn about you before they even meet you. Gear up for what you need for your team, business, or event. To look professional, look good, and feel good, outfit yourself at DreisigApparel.com. That's DREISSIG Apparel.com. The only place to gear up with the real deal. What's the universal language of a fan? Clapping your hands. With Fan Hands, the ultimate sports fan accessory, find your team color, slip them on, and start cheering on your favorite team with 11 different colors, always in stock on fanhands.com, where you'll find the ultimate sports fan accessory. Real fans wear Fan Hands.
Utica Pizza Company spells family. Your family, my family, their family. The recipes that they have shared with each other throughout the years and have now been so gracious to share them with us. I can sit here and talk with you about all the great things that are on the menu, but we'd be here forever. So let me say this. Utica Pizza Company is second to none. And now you can bring it home with you and you can dine in the restaurant. UticaPizzaCompany.com will give you all the information that you need. And let me say, these Utica greens, they're the best. Utica Pizza Company. Call them and place your order at 315-214-3060. That's 315-214-3060. Families break bread at Utica Pizza Company.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. We are live from the BK all week long. We're down here in Brooklyn for the ACC tournament as well as championship week, and we are bringing you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora Syracuse Orange men's basketball alum in every single broadcast of the show. Unprecedented, but that is what we do here. With that being said, Lawrence Moten is on the show with me right now. He's no stranger to the broadcast. I consider him somebody who's a friend, and him and I have been speaking for about 2-3 years now about retiring that jersey, and we finally got to see it happen, and I couldn't be happier for him. With that being said, Lawrence, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Dan. Blessed to wake up. You know, every day you wake up is a blessing, man, and looking forward to these guys trying to get one more victory tonight.
And Lawrence, what can you say about this year's team and just what they've done? They've been a little bit of an enigma, and sometimes, they look really good, and other times they kind of make you scratch your head a little bit. What have you taken away from the team this year?
Yeah. Feisty team, who sometimes plays to the caliber of the team that they're playing against. Have a guys, that are truly working hard, but also guys who truly still have to learn the game. I can say anytime you can get 20 wins in a season is not bad, and Coach Boeheim found a way to have the guys believe in their ability and believe in the scheme, and we've actually gotten 20 victories. So kind of like you said, up and down, but we bleed Orange for life, and we're gonna be with those guys no matter what.
Lawrence, I gotta expand with you here because you and I got to talk in the post game or in the press conference. After your jersey was retired, we got to speak for a little bit and do some video. But you and I have had kind of some fireside chats about this thing at a lot of different venues at a lot of different times about getting your jersey retired. 2,334 points, all-time leader in Syracuse history, all-time leader in Big East history. Just what you could say about that moment for you and what it meant to you, and how you were talking about the possibility for the last few years, and now you don't have to talk about it anymore. I mean, it's real life at this point.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I can honestly say it's on that aspect, it's a good feeling when you don't have to hear, like 3 and 4 times a day when they retire in jersey. It's finally official now. It was definitely a good day. I really enjoyed seeing my daughter's expressions in their faces, because they never saw me pretty much play. They see me play, but not in college. And to see the joy on their faces, and for them to see, the love that I've been receiving, and I get all the time, and they hear me talk about it all the time, and for them to actually see it is a beautiful thing. And to have my name, like I said, your name, your number in the Raptors forever is truly a beautiful thing. It shows that people appreciate what you did, and you're getting rewarded for it now.
And you brought up your daughters, just what it meant for you to have. I mean, they were beaming there. I mean, from ear to ear, they're smiling. Just it was a beautiful moment for your family. They were there to present that award to you and be there with you, and just what you could say. I mean, I've had the opportunity of meeting both your daughters before and speaking with you on the family, and just what it meant for you to have them there. I mean, Lawrence, you were on that basketball court just wreaking havoc on opponents, and now you have 2 young women that are your children that are standing there next to you the day you get honored. Just how special that moment was.
Yeah, that was very special, Dan. And like I said, we've been friends for some years now, and I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, you did an interview with with my 2 girls in the Dome, and asked them, what the feeling would be like, and they kind of like explained it to you and told you how happy they'll be. But like I said, it was a situation where every time I stepped in that Dome, I felt like I was walking into my house, and it was my job to show all the people that came that I appreciate, the love, and we're gonna have a good time that day, and I can honestly say more victories than L's in that Dome for me, for sure. And definitely some great times and some great memories, and man, I got a chance to meet a lot of good people, and hopefully this will definitely open up some more doors for myself as far as helping out the university and doing something in that capacity. But it's all about time, and I enjoy teaching and coaching. I'm also helping out at the Boys and Girls Club, and I'm a mentoring specialist here at Clary Middle School. So, you know, I got my degree in education, and this is my way of giving back, you know, because they need true teaching. Youth need true teaching.
Speaking here with Lawrence Moten, Syracuse Orange living legend, and Lawrence, you know, when we look at the hope for the future, like you said, you said more than once that you hope that this opens a door for your future and maybe opens a door to helping the university. What would you like to do? Do you have anything in mind?
Well, you know, I could definitely see myself helping out the athletic department in some capacity, whether it be, you know, going on a suit, you know, which I have no problem doing, and helping the university raise money, you know, sort of the same aspects of something like Florida Little, you know, was doing, you know, in that aspect. And I'm all about helping all of the athletic department, not just basketball. I'm big on the whole university's athletic department. You know, we're all one, and of course, you know, some teams make more than others as far as economically. You know, we know the football team and the basketball teams gross the most revenue, but you know, at the end of the day, all athletics in Syracuse University should feel like one, and that's my true goal, to have us all feel like one, and have people understand that we're in this together.
And that's a great sentiment, and I agree with you wholeheartedly with that, Lawrence. There's another piece that kind of goes off of that in a way in connection with Syracuse. We just had a fan write into the show that said, what's a message that you would send to kids now and recruits that are coming to Syracuse? So what would be a message that you would send to kids out there right now that are going through recruiting, that are thinking of coming to Syracuse or that are coming to Syracuse?
Well, the message that I would give is, you know, understand that, you know, if you decide to choose Syracuse and you're coming here, understand it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, and staying focused on being the best you can be. You know, this town here, you know, they love hard, you know, and basketball and all sports, especially basketball and football, is almost like religion. So it's not like where I'm from, being in Washington, D.C. area, where you have the Redskins, the Ravens, the Orioles, the Nats, Capitals. Up here in Syracuse, that's all you have at the university. So understanding that, you know, will definitely help you, you know, on being the best you can be, because, you know, if you do what you have to do, no doubt in my mind, if you truly play well here and treat people the right way and have good character, these people will love you forever.
That coming from Lawrence Moten, and Lawrence, the chip on your shoulder, Adrian Autry and I spoke after your jersey retirement in the locker room, and he said, you know, I never feel like he lost that chip. He just always had it. And, you know, you made mention of Georgetown in your speech and whatnot, but you always seem to have that chip on your shoulder of not being highly recruited or highly touted coming out of high school, and it never left you in the best of ways because you played your heart out. Just what you can say about that.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, you know, what you put in this game is what you're going to get out of it. You know, I truly was dedicated to my craft, you know, whether it be football and basketball. There was no doubt. I was All-American in both sports, so I never doubted myself. It was just a situation that understanding that each step you take up the ladder, you know, high school, you were All-American, now you got to go to college. So understand mentally that everybody that's coming to college with you were All-Americans at their home too. So I was always mentally prepared. You know, I always, kind of sounds crazy, but I was always good on seeing something before it happened. Big on anticipating and just trusting in my ability. You know, Wayne Morgan told me a story that had me laughing a couple of days ago. He said, you probably don't even remember this, but when we had a couple of, when I first got to Syracuse, don't forget, it was 6 guys, and I probably was considered the 5th best. Anthony Harris was the top guy in the recruiting class. Luke Jackson was 2nd. Nazar Sims was 3rd. Glenn Secunda was 4th. I probably was 5th, and J.B. Reefsnyder was 6th. So we would play pickup games against each other, and when we first got to school and everything. And Coach told me, Coach Morgan said he walked me into the office, and he said, "So Lawrence, what do you think? How do you think you'll fit in here? And what do you think? How do you think you've been playing?" And he said, I said, "Coach, let's keep this a secret. I'm the best freaking player on the team. on the freshman class, I'm the best one." So he told me that. I bust out laughing because, just that inner mental strength that I had, understanding, like I said, man, what you put in is what you're going to get out of this. And my high school coach always used to tell me, I'll never forget, he used to run us to death, and we would practice for 2 or 2.5 hours, but maybe for an hour we wouldn't even see a basketball. We doing drills and defensive slides, and his big words, we used to look at him, he used to yell out, "It's hard, but it's fair." It's hard, but it's fair. And we didn't understand it, but when we got a chance to hold up that championship trophy, my junior year and almost senior year, and we got a chance to hold up that trophy, and he said, "It's hard, but it's fair." We truly understood, what he meant, at the time. What you put in this game is what you're going to get out of it.
And in closing here, Lawrence, there was another question that we got that I want to get to really, really quick, and that was, what player did you look forward to? What player did you like playing the most against come game time? So who did you look forward to going up against the most?
Oh, you could say Ray Allen, Kerry Kittles, even Allen Iverson during that little stage, guys, Malik Sealy. It's a bunch of guys, Terry DeHare. You had a bunch of guys that I truly was looking forward to playing against and playing well, So offhand, those are some of the guys that I really felt like. Donnell Marshall, I felt like I had to bring my A game, and when you got my A game, you're gonna get good results. And like Coach said, I was blessed we were blessed as a team to win 20 games or more all my 4 years. I got a Big East championship, and I also went to a Sweet 16. And that's 3 out of 4 years, because don't forget, 1 year we were banned, which was my sophomore year.
Yeah.
But for the most part, great times, and looking forward to the next chapter in my life.
Absolutely, and I think that chapter needs to include an event that I'm going to be coming up with here in August, the festival that we're doing, and I know that you and I got to take some time and sit down and talk, and I know that you're up in Syracuse, so when I get back from Brooklyn, you and I will have to sit down, because I feel like there is definitely, absolutely a place for Lawrence Moten at this event that we're going to be doing, so I look forward to talking with you about it.
Absolutely, and how ironic is that, Dan, that like I said in my speech, Sherman Douglas is number 20, yeah. I'm number 21, and Dave Bing is 22, and we're all from the same hometown. That's kind of ironic.
Yeah. There's something special with that.
Yeah. Georgetown killer for life.
I love that. And it's funny that you said you're a numbers guy, because my number is ironically 21 from my birthday. And so maybe that's what connects us too, Lawrence. But, that my number's 20.
It's crazy, Dan, because, I'm just a little thing like at my retirement, Dolezaj hitting the free throw.
Right.
Number 21.
Right.
And I'm going to get even deeper on you. We get this win tonight, that'll be 21.
Yeah, it'll be 21-12, so 21 in the reversal of it as well. So, yeah, it's just nice that I found somebody else that gets numbers like I do. When you were like, I'm a numbers guy and I get numbers, I'm sitting there like, I want to go up to you right now. And I was like, I wanted to rush the court, give you a big hug, and be like, thank you, I'm not crazy. At least you and I both get it. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as always, man, I appreciate it. I look forward to talking with you soon, and I'll probably be giving you a call while I'm down here in the BK to discuss, what's going on and just to catch up with you a little bit because we only got to talk for a few minutes at your ceremony. But I look forward to being in touch with you soon.
Okay, Dan. You take care, man.
All right. God bless. Take care.
Yep.
That coming from Lawrence Moten once again. We're going to get on the air right now, Ryan Blackwell. It is such a busy, crazy, and amazing day for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and I love the busyness of it all because it's just fun and it's exciting. So we're getting Ryan Blackwell on the air right now so that we can have this conversation, and Ryan is here with us. Ryan, how you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Doing very well. And Ryan, first and foremost, before we get into anything Syracuse related, I want to discuss with you Liverpool. You guys just won a sectional championship. So there's a lot of amazing things going on in your life that stem well outside of what Syracuse is doing in the ACC tournament and whatnot. So first and foremost, a huge congratulations to Liverpool.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So bring me into it. I mean, it's back-to-back. I mean, you come into Liverpool, you become the head coach of this team, you throw them onto the map, and I mean, you coincide, you are paralleling the success of Liverpool since coming to the program. Just what you can say about what you've seen out of the guys, what you've done there, and just all of this early success, because it truly is something special for your career, and it's something special for the Central New York community as well.
Well, they say experience is the best teacher. I feel like I have a lot of experience. My playing days and coaching and being overseas and just being around a lot of people. And I've tried to incorporate that and just bring it back to these kids and teach them the best way. I think they have fun with it. They work hard. They play hard. And I'm trying to teach them the right way. And they're very responsive to what I give them. There's a lot of respect between myself and my players, and I think it shows.
What can you say about the game? I mean, obviously going into the game with Liverpool and Nottingham and just how tight that game was toward the end, just the poise of your team and the trust that they had in one another through the process and through the game, because, watching that game, it came down to the wire. It was interesting at the end, but ultimately your team was able to pull it out. So just what you saw from the guys and how much they trust one another in those tight situations.
Yeah, Nottingham played a very good game. They've gotten better over the course of the season. I mean, we beat them pretty handily both games, but we knew coming in, they had gotten better, and this time everyone should be playing well. But we've been through a lot of battles. We've had injuries, and Charles Pride and Naj Johnson have been injured some games. Charles was out for a month, and different guys have stepped up. So, being through those battles, coming down to the wire, they didn't get rattled. They knew what they had to do. They made the right plays when they had to.
And being, what have you learned about yourself? Like you said, experience is the best teacher to help you to do what you're doing as a coach. But what have you learned of yourself as you've been the coach at Liverpool? Because, you and I had discussed that, I feel like if a job opened up at Syracuse as an assistant, that you would make sense there. I know your good friend Alan Griffin is there right now. But, I trust in your ability to go out there and do what you need to do and coach how you need to coach. And obviously at Liverpool, you've shown that. What has it taught you? When you look in the mirror now, what has the game taught you as a coach? What has this team taught you?
For me, it's like I said, it's about working hard, and everything is going to handle itself. And for me, I just have to, naturally, I'm just kind of a patient person, kind of laid back, and I think I bring that to the table, and the guys, I think they appreciate that. And during situations like against Nottingham, when things get tight, we're never, we stay calm, we remain calm, and I think that's been the best approach for me, especially with high school kids, just to remain calm. And as long as they're working hard, yelling at them doesn't work for me because it didn't work for me as a player. So that laid back, calm demeanor, I think it's just the best approach, and I think it's worked.
And when we look at what's coming up here with Ryan Blackwell, Liverpool is playing Shenandoah at Hudson Valley Community College this Saturday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Just what you could say about the upcoming game against Shenandoah and being in the tournament, being in the regionals right now moving forward.
Yeah, it's not going to get any easier. I don't think they were the best in their section this year, but they had some upsets. Obviously, they have a lot history of winning.
There are a lot of good teams and a lot of good players come out of there. Kevin Hunter, who's at Maryland, so they're well coached. So we're going to have our handful. We've got to be ready to play. But I like our chances. When we come to play, we do the things we need to do on both ends of the floor. We're consistent. We play pretty well.
That coming from Ryan Blackwell. Ryan, really quick here to switch gears to Syracuse. They got to the 20 wins, you know, the 20 that people are always circling as what the committee needs to see. They have wins over Virginia Tech as well as at Miami, at Louisville, at Georgetown. They beat Buffalo at home, who's another good team this season. They beat Clemson, and now they have their 20 wins, and they're going into a game against North Carolina. Have they done enough, in your opinion? Is there more work to be done? What do you think about Syracuse's place right now?
It wouldn't hurt to get a win against North Carolina, but most of their losses, they've been in the game. I think the committee usually, take that into consideration. We've had chances, Florida State, Notre Dame, North Carolina, at Wake Forest. There have been a multitude of games where we could have won. St. Bonaventure. They were all close. They weren't like really blowouts, with the exception of Duke and Kansas and probably that Boston College game. All other games were competitive. We're in the toughest league in the country. We beat some pretty good teams and challenged a lot of good teams. So, a couple of years ago we had 19 wins. Everyone said we wouldn't get in. Lost to Pittsburgh. The first round of the tournament, we get in and we get to the Final Four. So you just never know what the committee's thinking or how they're judging their criteria. I personally think we have enough, but we'll see what happens.
What has this team shown you? Because, you were obviously a part of Syracuse basketball, and you went through the ebb and flow, and there's ups and downs for every squad. But for this Syracuse team, they're leaning on their starters. Marek Dolezaj has become a starter. Barama has not been 100% all season. Matt Moyer hasn't got a lot of time. He has a tight leash on him right now. Howard Washington Jr. didn't play a lot, and now he's injured and out for the season, and that happened a few weeks back. So when you look at the fact that they can really lean on their starters and that's it, maybe one other guy, they're going up against teams inside of the ACC, which I agree with you is arguably the toughest conference in college basketball, 351 schools and all the conferences there are. They go up against teams that have 7 guys on their bench, 5 guys on their bench, 4 guys on their bench, 6 guys on their bench. Syracuse is playing 5, 6, maybe 7, 5.5 sometimes when there's injuries going on. Has this team impressed you up to this point? And what can you say they've done with such a short bench? They got to lean on each other, and Marek Dolezaj and Pascal Chukwu, they stood out more so in the ACC tournament game against Wake Forest than they have all season, with 34 points combined and everything else that they did, blocking shots and getting after it. Just what you've taken away from the team this season and the fact that they've had to do a whole lot more with a whole lot less.
Yeah, I think you basically answered the question yourself, but limited resources, they challenge a lot of teams. They've won some big games with everything that's happened, Leiden leaving, Torian Thompson leaving, Gino leaving, injuries here and there, Matt Moyer and Sidibe, and to do what they've done, it's, obviously attributed to the coaches and Coach Boeheim. Obviously, not many coaches could do what he's doing with this roster and this roster and this number of guys. It's amazing.
And finally, for you, Ryan, you hear people say Jim Boeheim's over and done with. Why is he still coaching this, that, and the other? Then we see what he does with this year's team. Just what you could say a little bit deeper on that, because you're not the first person that brought up the notion of nobody could do what Jim Boeheim's doing with this team. So just to expand a little bit more on that and why you feel that way.
Yeah, that's just the genius of Jim Boeheim. He's the only one that could do that. Not many teams or many coaches with this same roster would probably have 11 or 12 wins. If they have 20 wins with all that's going on, it shows why Jim Boeheim's in the Hall of Fame. He does great things with limited resources, and like I said, there aren't too many guys, if any, that could do what he's doing.
That coming from Ryan Blackwell, whose team will face off this weekend on Saturday with Shenandoah in the regionals as they continue on their postseason, and a hopeful victory coming for Liverpool. Ryan, as always, I know you had a few minutes this morning. Thanks for spending them here on Wake Up Call, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. And as always, God bless, and we hope nothing but the best for your team as you move forward.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
All right, take care. That coming from Ryan Blackwell. We're going to take a really quick, fast break, and we're going to wrap up the show. Those conversations with the Syracuse Orange that I promised you from the first round of the ACC tournament that I did down here in Brooklyn, featuring Marek, Dolezaj, Frank Howard, Oshae, Brissett, and Alan Griffin, are all coming up in just a moment.
This is a wake-up call, Fast Break.
Hi, this is Kira from Looking Glass Events, where we're always giving you a reason to celebrate. Whether you have a small business, large business, personal event, or wedding, we are available to plan and coordinate your dream event to life. Every detail, every step, Looking Glass Events is working with you all the way. Call us at 315-702-4653. That's 315-702-4653. Or contact us through our website, lgweddingsandevents.com. Looking Glass Events, giving you a reason to celebrate.
The Penn and Trophy Center on 111 East Willow Street in Syracuse, New York, has been making memories for Central New York for over 60 years. It has the trophies for your teams, and when you walk in there, it's so much more than just that. When you walk into the Penn and Trophy Center, you are immersed in the reality that anything can be customized, anything can be engraved, whether it's for your anniversary, your wedding, your bar mitzvah, your birthday party, whatever you want to do with that memory, that watch from grandpa, or that bracelet from mom, or that wedding ring that's been passed down through your family. If you want to get something engraved with a memory to last a lifetime, the Penn and Trophy Center, 111 East Willow Street in Syracuse, New York, where memories are made and where memories last a lifetime. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, live on location in Brooklyn, New York for Championship Week and the ACC Men's Basketball Tournament, featuring interviews with players and coaches inside of the ACC Tournament every single day of the week this week and beyond, as well as former Syracuse players gracing the stage of every single live episode from Brooklyn here on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. If you're not a member, make sure you become one today. It is free and easy, and make sure you're on wakeupcalldt.com for all your info. As promised, Syracuse interviews are up here and up next. Marek, Dolezaj, and I had an opportunity to speak on his 20-point career day. I got a little bit of a funny answer from him, which is pretty amazing. This is what he had to say.
Oh, of course. In the USA, of course.
So, but outside of the U.S., what was your highest?
Like 48.
48?
Mm-hmm.
So, how does this feel compared to that?
I feel good. But I'm more happy we win the game, and we try and focus on another game tomorrow.
You weren't here before, obviously. The last few seasons where Syracuse has struggled, but this is the first ACC tournament victory. What does it mean to you to be a part of that?
I'm really happy we won this game. We needed it for an NCAA tournament, and I'm really happy. And we knew we must win this game. We want to go to NCAA tournament, and we made it.
can you say about being physical? There was one of the plays that you went down and got hit by 3 different guys on the way to the basket. Just what you could say about physicality.
This is ACC, and everybody are physical. Duke are more physical than Wake Forest. We must play our game, and it'll be good.
What can you say about the play of Pascal in this game?
Pascal played really good in offense and defense, and this is his game. He must only pass the ball and dunk it.
The feeling in the locker room after something like this, just what you can say, how the team's feeling moving forward, knowing that you got to 20 wins right now.
I think we feel really good, but I need eyes. I think we really feel. Feel really good, but we must get some rest and focus on tomorrow's game.
That coming once again from Marek Dolezaj. I appreciate having Marek on the show. 20 points, and I love that. He said, well, yeah. I said, that's a career day for you. He goes, yeah, in the U.S. 48 overseas. 48 points from Marek Dolezaj. 48 points. That's some food for thought. Coming up next is Frank Howard on finally getting that ACC Tourney win. He knows what it's like to be on the other side of it. He finally got one. This is what he had to say to me about that.
Yeah, man. That was a goal. Come down here and get some wins. Play hard for one another. But it's definitely, whenever you're on the winning side, it's always a lot better.
You had some no looks out there. Just what you could say about getting comfortable out there and doing what you do.
Yeah, I think over the year, over the years I've been here, something I learned, to use the eyes as a passer, not to telegraph any of your passes. So just something I've been working on in practice, something I've always done as a kid, got away from it when I got to college, wanted to be a little safer, but, now I'm not very confident. I'm very confident out there playing free, and, I got some great teammates to finish.
You spoke with me at the beginning of the season about changing your number and about that being a new chapter, new era for you. Just what you can say about how that era's gone so far.
I think it's been good for me, you know what I mean? It's definitely a different vibe, you know what I mean, just to switch it up. We have a great team this year, we're not done by a long shot, hopefully. So we just want to keep pushing, enjoy this one for a few hours, prepare for North Carolina.
Lastly, for me, Marek and Pascal, just what you can say about how they stepped up, 34 points in between them in this game.
Yeah, man, that's what they're capable of, you know what I mean? They're great players, just had to get comfortable out there. We had to get them to be aggressive. Very small players. Pete did a great job finishing down there tonight, blocking shots. He's getting his body right. Getting his rhythm back. From being out those years. So we want to keep this going with them. Keep making them be aggressive. Keep them positive. Make or miss. You know what I mean? Just always be aggressive.
That coming once again from Frank Howard, who had some very fancy no-look passes that turn. One of them with I think it was an Oshae Brissett dunk was, from the alley-oops to the no-look passes, Frank Howard looking like a true point guard in this game, which looked pretty awesome, and setting up your teammates is everything that you're going to need against North Carolina. Syracuse needs to look back a couple weeks and learn a lot from that game. They played from behind the whole time. They tied it at 74 apiece, and then the wheels fell off from bad decision-making and turning the ball over. So if you don't make bad decisions, you don't turn the ball over, all of a sudden, it's not like North Carolina just spanked them. It's not like they just outright beat them. Syracuse beat themselves in those last 3 minutes of the game, and Syracuse didn't get on it early on in the game. So Syracuse is more than capable of hanging with North Carolina. They need to know that, and they need to show that moving forward. Oshae Brissett being part of history, even though he wasn't there with Syracuse losing in prior ACC tournaments, just what he can say about being a part of history, and this is what he had to say about that.
It's amazing, especially with all the history that Syracuse already holds. Being a part of the team to get the first ever ACC tournament win is something that I pride myself on and be very proud of. Especially the guys. I'm pretty sure everyone on the team is really happy and riled up about this one.
All 5 starters getting in double figures and scoring. Just what you can say about spreading the ball out in this game.
I feel like everyone was ready to go. Everyone was in the spots they needed to be and doing what they can to contribute in any way. So I feel like once we're like that, it's really hard to stop us on the offensive end, and got to give credit to the defense. We were moving around and getting stops that we needed.
Syracuse is, as you know, being a part of this team, it's been an enigma. There's been some high moments, some low moments. Do you feel like you guys have caught your stride at this point?
Yeah, I feel like everyone, is ready to do what they need to do. The past couple games, we've been like that. I feel like guys are up and ready as soon as the game starts. Some haven't fallen our way, but I feel like still everyone has kept their head up, and despite what happens at the end, I feel like everyone is sticking with it.
You guys are about attacking underneath. There were some offensive fouls that are called. Just how you bounce back from something like that, knowing that guys like yourself and Tyus are going to go under there and do what you need to do, and you're going to attack every game.
Just being a lot smarter, slowing down. Once you get there, you see a guy in there, just try to change direction, or just do something different. But the refs are going to call whatever they feel like. So we just got to keep playing our game.
Marek, Dolezaj, 20 points. Just what you can say about him having a single game career high and taking off today.
I'm really proud of him. I see how hard he works, how hard he wants to help, and I'm just happy he was able to do it on such a big stage. He was up and ready, and he found his spots, was knocking down his shots, everything that he can do. So I feel like tomorrow he's gonna do exactly what he did today.
There's been a conversation about, guys getting around him like yourself and telling him to do what he needs to do, and to not be afraid to shoot and get out there and help the team. Just what you can say about building confidence in him and showing him that you guys have belief in what he can do.
I feel like, anytime someone, a leader on the team comes up to, another person and tells them, we trust you and we want you to help us, that gives, another set of confidence to him. And, I told him that last practice that, we need him to do the things that he can do, and today it showed.
There's always conversation on the big three in the sense of you, Frank Howard, and Tyus Battle, but Pascal and Marek in this game, 34 points. Just what you can say about what they're capable of.
It's amazing getting a big contribution from those guys. It just shows how ready they are. A lot of people talk bad about them and bash them, but they come out here and do that. Everyone knows now what they're capable of, and they're just going to carry this on for tomorrow.
You got another crack at North Carolina. You know how close that game was inside the dome, 78-74. Just what you can say about the upcoming game.
We're all excited. We all want to get another chance to play them. We're just going to be go get our rest and watch film tomorrow and just get ready.
And finally on today's broadcast, the 14th of the interviews that we had on today's show is from Alan Griffin on Dolezaj and Chukwu and just what they've done. I said that he's had them because he coaches the big men, and then Adrian Autry has the forwards. So I said, you've kind of shared Dolezaj, and then you've had Chukwu in your room as well. Just what you can say about their play, 34 points between them, and what they did in this game to help them separate themselves from Wake Forest and continue to have life in the ACC tournament.
Well, it's kind of twofold because, Frank and Tyus, those guys did a really good job of finding those guys. And you know what? And they stepped up and made some really good plays. So we were all happy with the overall effort because it is it's a two-part thing where both those, if you can pass those guys the ball in the right spots, they can really do something. And we did a really good job tonight.
When you look at a game like this, all five starters in double figures, the ball was spread around and guys found their shot. Just what you can say about the team effort in a game like this when you know that every single moment counts.
Yeah, that's the only way we can, compete and win. We have to make sure that we look out for one another, and again, just be in the right place at the right time. I think that was the best part. Like Marek did an unbelievable job. When he got the ball in the right spots, making the right plays, he did a phenomenal job.
Just to speak to how important it was to get started early, 20-4 lead to start the game.
Oh, that was the game for us, because we were able to take a blow by them. We were able to take a couple of blows, even in the start of the second half when they, we got up big on them, and then they kind of made a comeback, and we were able to withstand some of their blows. So it was just a great overall effort by our team.
As a former guard on the Syracuse team, just what you can say about Frank Howard's play and finding other guys. Had a couple no looks in this game.
Frank's been rock solid for us all year, and I think he doesn't want to stop being that, and he was great today, especially early. He found some guys, and again, he put the guys in the right situation. Against the zone, that was the best we've seen him play all year. He did a great job of being able to call the plays, get the guys in the right place. He was phenomenal tonight.
And lastly, 78-74, last time he played North Carolina, but it was a close game, 74-74 tie with 3 minutes and 7 seconds left just a little while ago. You got another crack at him in this. Just what you could say about getting North Carolina one more time.
We know that we're going in tomorrow night's game. It's going to be a battle, number one. Number two, they're a great team, and you know what? We just need another effort like we did today, and if we do that, it will be right there for the taking.
That coming once again from Alan Griffin, assistant coach of the Syracuse Orange men's basketball team. With that being said, that is 14 of the 14 interviews. I want to thank everybody that came on the show today, including Boston. I want to thank all the interviews I did in the first round of the ACC tournament, including Boston College's Jerome Robinson and Kai Bowman, Josh Okogie and Tadric Jackson of Georgia Tech. I want to thank Rex Pflueger, Bonzie Colson, and Matt Farrell of Notre Dame. And I want to thank Syracuse's Marek, Dolezaj, as well as Frank Howard, Oshae, Brissett, and Alan Griffin. I also want to thank my Syracuse alum that continue to do something innovative and different here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, which is every single day that we broadcast live of championship week and on location at the ACC tournament, that for the last 3 years, this being the third and counting, we have a former Syracuse player on, at least one former Syracuse player on every single one of our live broadcasts. So I want to thank everybody that's been on, Dale Shackelford and Roosevelt Bowie Jr., who were on our show Tuesday, March 6th, and here on Wednesday, March 7th, Lawrence Moten, Ryan Blackwell, Gene Waldron. Thank you to each of you. We have Daewon Coleman and so much more coming up this week. Make sure you stay close for the news on who's going to be the next one by going to wakeupcalldt.com and clicking on the Syracuse Basketball Quick Link, as well as going to ACC Central on wakeupcalldt.com and clicking on ACC Basketball underneath that. That'll give you the updates, and you'll get immediate updates on Facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, Twitter @CallDT, and Instagram @wakeupcall_DT. So you know where to be, you know what to follow, you know what to like, and you know what to connect with. I will be with you all throughout the ACC tournament, broadcasting live here in Brooklyn, New York, and on location in Brooklyn. So I got a bunch of games coming up today, and I'm very excited about the opportunity. So plenty of games coming up on the docket, and I want to give you those games right now. So let me let you know what's going on here for the games today. So in the second round of the ACC tournament, I will be live on location writing stories, and I'll be on Twitter @CallDT. For those of you that don't have social media, you can go simply to wakeupcalldt.com, and under the tab Who's DT, click on the fan cave. That'll give you a live thread of what I'm saying on social media. So even if you don't have it, you can still enjoy it, which means that, you can follow without having to, you can connect with the show even if you're not a big fan of social media, because some of you have Facebook, but you don't want Twitter, and if we're doing something live on Twitter, I don't want you to miss it. So this is how we get it done. Number 8, Florida State taking on number 9, Louisville at noon Eastern time. Heading over there for that right now. Number 5, NC State taking on number 12, Boston College at approximately 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then later on tonight, number 7, Virginia Tech taking on number 10, Notre Dame, 7 p.m. And following that game will be number 6, North Carolina taking on number 11, Syracuse. I'm going to venture to say around like 9:15 p.m. or so, with the fact that it doesn't happen just right at 9 because the 2 hours in between is not enough for the game. So with all that being said, thank you so much for tuning into the show. Tell your friends, and I'll talk with you very soon. God bless and have a great day. Be good to one another, be safe, and love yourself. Just do it.